Hello friends! Today we'll see how famous Hollywood action actors of the 80s 90s have changed, and also compare how they looked then at the peak of their careers and what's with them now in 2023. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Let's go! Arnold Schwarzenegger starred in '82 in the action movie Conan the Barbarian, which made him recognizable. The role in the movie The Terminator, which was released in 1984, was no less famous and iconic for Arnold, which brought him a worldwide fame. Bruce Willis in the film Sphere as an actor began to appear in the early 80s, and only 8 years later was able to prove himself in the action genre in the movie Die Hard. Also another landmark work in his career is The Fifth Element. Liam Neeson has starred in diverse films since '78, including the action genre, where Darkman, the role of Peyton Westlake, and the role of Qui-Gon Jinn, which he played in Star Wars, were especially striking Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, 1999. Pierce Brosnan is especially remembered for his participation in the Bond series, in which he played the title role and first appeared in GoldenEye, 1995. The Minions of America was one of his first works, and it was a good start to his career. Jean-Claude Van Damme, thanks to his fighting skills, often took part in the filming of action films. His most famous works are Kickboxer, the role of Kurt Sloan, as well as Double Impact, released in 1991, where he played several major roles. Adrian Paul showed his acting skills well during the filming of movies of the action genre. In particular, he gained popularity in the 2000 film Highlander Endgame, the role of Duncan MacLeod. The Colbys of '85 is his first film experience. Wesley Snipes began his film career in the first half of the '80s, but he is particularly remembered for his performance in the sci-fi action movie Demolition Man, 1993, as the negative character Simon Phoenix, and the title role in Blade. Kurt Russell entered the film industry in '62, making a cameo appearance in the TV series Dennis the Menace. He does well in a variety of roles, but particularly memorable were in the action films Escape from LA, Snake, and Executive Decision as David. One of Sylvester Stallone's first films was Italian Stallion, released in 1970, where he played the title role. His popularity began 6 years later with the release of Rocky, and he became internationally known for his role in the action film First Blood. Danny Glover started in the cinema in '79, appearing in the film Escape from Alcatraz, where he played one of the prisoners. World fame came to the actor after 8 years with the release of the comedy action movie Lethal Weapon, where he appeared as Roger. Mickey Rourke became internationally recognizable after starring in the film Angel Heart, '87, in which he appeared as Harry Angel, and his equally memorable work was the role of Marv in the film Sin City. Christopher Lambert began acting in the late 1980s, but the film Highlander, released in 1986, not only propelled his career upward, but also made him recognizable around the world. Also, his equally famous role is Lord Raiden in Mortal Kombat. Richard Norton, in 1980, took part in the filming of The Octagon, where he appeared as a stuntman. However, filming became significant for him in Sing Si Leap Young, role of Colonel McDonald, as well as in the 2019 film Mad Max Fury Road. Tom Cruise is the lead role of Maverick in Top Gun, which hit the theaters in '86, became the 8th film in his career and brought him considerable fame. He took part in Mission Impossible 2 as Ethan Hunt, which brought him worldwide recognition. Jason Scott Lee began his interest in acting in the mid-80s, and in '86 he first appeared on the action series The A-Team in a small role as restaurant waiter. Dragon, the Bruce Lee story, came out 7 years later and was a breakthrough in his career. Steven Seagal has mainly acted in action films, and his first film work was Above the Law, released in 1988, where he played Nico Toscani, and for which he is remembered by the audience. Under Sieg, the role of Casey Ryback was no less iconic for him. Antonio Banderas gained considerable fame after his participation in '95 in the filming of the Western action movie Desperado, role of El Mariachi. The debut of his career was the release in '82 film Laberinto de Pasiones. Kevin Costner began to appear on movie screens in 1981, but popularity came to him a little later after the release of such films with action elements such as Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, 1991, as well as The Bodyguard as Frank Farmer. Jean Reno appeared in the television series Le Hypnotiste du Tableau Volé at the end of the 1980s, and with this film work his career as an actor began. He became famous after his role in the drama film with action elements Leon in 1994. In 1984, Brian Thompson appeared on the screens in the action movie The Terminator, where he played the cameo role of Punk, but which also brought him some fame. His memorable appearance and acting can also be seen in Dragonheart, played by Brock. Harrison Ford started to appear actively in movies in the late 60s, and in 1981 Raiders of the Lost Ark was released, where he played the main role and which made him widely known. He can also be seen in the action film The Fugitive as Kimball. For Don the Dragon Wilson, one of his first films was the action movie Blood Feast, released in 1989, where he played Ray. However, he really got his fame and breakthrough in his career after he was filmed in several parts of Ring of Fire as Johnny Woo. Michael J. White began entering the movie world in the 90s, like many others playing minor roles, but in 1999 he played the Universal Soldier The Return, the role of Seth, which helped his career take off. Another film that made him famous was Exit Wounds. For Mel Gibson, his acting career began with minor roles played in the late 70s, but gradually becoming in demand played his iconic role as Martin Riggs in Lethal Weapon 3, 1992. He is also remembered for his role as Tom Mullen in Ransom. Nicolas Cage is a versatile actor who has acted in various genres, but he is best known in the action genre. His breakthrough works are considered to be The Rock, role of Stanley Goodspeed, and Castor Troy in Face Off, released in the late 1990s. The beginning of his acting career for Mark Dacascos took place at the beginning of the 90s, and his first major work was the action movie American Samurai, role of Kenjiro Sanga. The breakthrough film that brought recognition was Only the Strong in '93. John Travolta's career began to gain momentum in the late 70s with the release of the musical Saturday Night Fever. In '97, however, Face Off was released in the action film genre, where he excelled as Archer, for which he was nominated for a Saturn Award. Jet Li began his career by starring in the 1982 film Shaolin Shi, role of Zhu Yuan. However, the significant roles that brought him a fame were Liu Jian in the film Kiss of the Dragon and the movie The One, where he played 3 roles at once. Chuck Norris gained popularity from one of his works, namely the action film Meng Long Guojiang, as well as from his starring role in Walker, Texas Ranger. His first film appearance, however, was a minor role in The Wrecking Crew. Dolph Lundgren established himself well after his role in Rocky IV in the mid-80s. Also, no less iconic roles for Dolph were in the film Masters of the Universe 1987 and the action movie Universal Soldier, role of Andrew and GR13. Jackie Chan became interested in cinema at a young age, and in the early 60s he acted in the film Wong So Kong Nam Chhat Ba Tin. He became famous with his role in Rumble in the Bronx in '95, but he became world famous after the release of Rush Hour. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, please share it on social networks, like it, and of course subscribe to the channel.